Hello there, it's Brigit, a Pilates teacher for Silverfit, and today we're going to work on flexibility. So we're going to just kind of get nice and mobile around the joints, stretch the muscles. It's great to do after another fitness session. You can just do it as a standalone. It's really nice. So before we get started, just make sure you've got lots of space around you. We don't want to be crashing into anything. And without further ado, we'll make a start. So we'll just start with the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart and just soften the knees, okay? So just give them a little shake. We don't want to kind of buckle through the knees or jam through the knees. And then hands are on the hips and we'll just go for some nice hip swivels. So if you try to do these with your knees locked, it doesn't feel very nice. Okay, and then change direction, just lubricating the hips, oiling the joints. Good for the synovial fluid, which is the sort of the fluid that oils the joints. Okay, and then release, do soft shake, and then we'll plant the ball of the left foot on the floor, and we're just going to roll through the ball of the foot. So it's a similar concept, synovial fluid. The ankles, the knees, the hips, and then change direction. Engage here. Kick the shoulders back and down. And remember to breathe. Okay, and then we'll swap it over. Plant the ball of the right foot. You feel this connection. Okay, try not to just hang off the hip. And then we're circling. And then we're circling the other way. Okay, and then release. So I'll just stand sideways so you can see. We're going to have our feet hip width apart now and just let the tailbone drop down. So we don't want to just hang here, sort of letting go. We're going to start to engage, let the tailbone drop down, flatten the stomach. The pelvis is in a neutral position. And then we're going to tuck the chin. And as you're tucking the chin, feel this engagement, okay? And then soften the knees and just start to roll down just a tiny little bit. Just feel the activation. You can look at your toes, they shouldn't be gripping on. Okay, and then inhale as we roll up. Let those shoulders settle. And then we'll do that again. Inhale to repair, exhale. And we'll just tuck the chin and we're following through with the upper spine. Maybe go a little bit lower. And then inhale, press through the feet, roll up. Let the shoulders settle, maybe a back bend. Okay, and then we go down a little bit lower. So we're nudging down a little bit lower each time. Try not to let your backside go back like that. You want to keep the weight slightly forwards. Now I'm quite tight in my hamstrings, so I will need to soften my knees more. And then we roll back up again. So if you're tight in your back body and you don't soften the knees or bend the knees to accommodate that, you'll end up kind of feeling jammed in the hips. We're going to do one more. Inhale, exhale. Use the core. Okay, now we're going to hold it here in a sort of dangle position. Okay, and we'll just have a little sway from side to side. If you want to, you can heel toe the feet so they're wider apart. And just be mindful if you've got any conditions that you shouldn't be in this position, like glaucoma or anything at all, you know, just be mindful of that. Don't do anything that your doctor has said that you shouldn't do. Okay, and then we come back to the centre, tuck your tailbone, press your feet, rolling up, rolling up, rolling up, rolling up, rolling up, rolling up. Restacking the spine, very nice. Okay, so just roll out the shoulders. And we're going to make the circles a little bit bigger, so getting bigger and bigger. You can go for full circles. Okay, if there's any impingement in the shoulders, again, just be mindful of it. Listen to the feedback, we're changing direction. We want to catch some buoyant energy in those abdominals. You can make the circles bigger and bigger and bigger. And shake it, shake it, shake it. We're going to step the feet a little bit wider apart. And we want to be very grounded. So try not to just sort of hang here. We're really digging the feet in. It's like we're ripping the mat in two. The arms come out like so. And then we want a long waist. Okay, so we want to kind of, if you imagine you've got a pencil in your side waist, and we're reaching like that without breaking the pencil, and then over to the other side. So we're telescoping out of our waist. We want length around the waist. 3, 2, 1. We'll hold it here, and as you're holding it here, feel these muscles here stopping you from sort of sucking you over, and then your left arm is going to circle. 3, 2, 1. Change direction for 3, 2, and 1. Over to the other side, and as you're reaching, you're stabilising in the core. Circle for 3, 2, 1, and the other way for 3, 2, 1. Okay, and just swirl the arms back, heel toe the feet back, and the feet are just over hip width apart, and I'll go sideways on again. Okay, as we exhale, you're going to scoop those abdominals. It's like you're hugging a ginormous beach ball, and you're really hollowing. Stretch for the upper back, and as you inhale, lift and lengthen that spine. Present the sternum up, but don't tip your head back. Okay, and then exhale. We'll do that again. Stretching that upper back, drawing those abdominals in. Inhale, so lengthen the front neck, but don't compress the back neck. Okay, and release. So we want to be very mindful with what's happening in our spine. We want to keep it long. Okay, and now we're going to do some gentle head rolls. So if you go right ear to right shoulder, and watch that you're not popping the other shoulder up. And already, try not to let the head just drop, okay? You want to kind of ground with your feet, feel the spinal line, feel the engagement, and then chin to chest, other ear to other shoulder, and circle it round. So again, maintain the length in the neck. Try not to just let the head roll round sort of unsupported. If it feels a bit icky, you can just roll the neck from side to side. And we're changing direction. If you're going full circles, we will hear those strange crackly noises in the neck. That is normal. And take your time. We want to get some nice sensory feedback from this. Listen to the information that your body is telling you. Okay, and then we'll just restack. So we're going to do some more roll downs. So we won't walk out to a plank just yet. We're just going to stick with the roll downs. Now, if you've got a bad back, you can walk your hands down the front of your legs, which is quite nice in any case, because you get that sort of guidance. And then you're going to roll back up again. Okay, and then we're going to roll down. We're going to hold it. You can bend your knees as much as you like, but you want to have your head lower than your bum. Okay, so if you're kind of like that, just soften the knees and just let your head get lower than your bum, unless your doctor's told you otherwise. And then you're going to interlace your hands and just rest your hands on the base of your skull, just adding a little bit more traction. So we don't want to tug or wrench or be aggressive with this. It's just the hands just adding a tiny bit more traction. And again, if it feels horrible, don't do it. Okay, and release your fingertips to the floor, and then we can roll up. You can walk the hands up the front of your legs. Okay, and we're going to interlace our hands behind our backs. And if you can't interlace, just zap back with the fingertips, okay, so it doesn't matter. And then we're just going to present our sternum up towards the sky, okay, and again, don't tip your head back, so we want to avoid this. Okay, so the shoulders are strong, the chest is open, we've got traction through the spine, lots of length, and then release. Okay, give yourself a shake. So come down onto the mat, and I'm just going to do a readjustment to my camera angle, and I'll meet you down on the mat. Okay, and we're going to sit. Okay, so we're sitting down. Like so. Okay, so if your back's all right, come with me. If your back's not all right, lie on your side and then lie on your back. Okay, but if it's all right, we're going to roll down. You can hold onto your thighs. So inhale to prepare, exhale, scoop, tuck. We're rolling down. A vertebra by vertebra, by vertebra, by vertebra, and then we'll take a nice full body stretch. So really stretch that out. And then circle the arms around, tuck the knees into the chest, We'll have a rock from side to side. And then we're going to do a cross lateral stretch. So we're going to stretch out the right leg and the left arm. So like so. I really enjoy that sort of cross lateral sensation. Bring the arm and the leg back. And then we're going to do the right arm and the left leg. Inhale, exhale. And then tuck the knees into the chest and rock from side to side. Now, if you want to, okay, you can try some forwards, backwards rocking. Just be very mindful with this, especially if you've got any issues in your spine or if you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, this might be a no-no for you. Or arthritis, or if it just doesn't feel very nice. Okay. And then we're rolling down, and we're all going to meet on the floor, and we're going to cross our right leg over our left thigh. Okay, so we're in the number 4 position. Just going to swivel round, so it's this position here. Okay, and you're going to place your right hand on the inside of your thigh, and we're going for an open and a close. So we're opening the hip and then we're closing the hip. And we're adding some resistance with the hand. So we're just working on the mobility of our hip here. But we take our time with this because you want to listen to the feedback from your body and try to keep your pelvis still. Okay, so if the pelvis is sort of moving around, hold it still to get a true indication of how mobile the hip is. Okay, and then we'll hold it here. So we're just like so. And then we're going to press the left foot in. And we're going to do some pelvic tilts just on one leg. So we inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, lengthen your spine, curl that pelvis under, and it should be square, the pelvis, you don't want it to be wonky. Okay, inhale as you release, exhale, curl it under, inhale as you release. And if you want to, you can just start to lift off. You need to press through the foot a little bit. Feels a little bit wobbly on the first one. Okay, you can stick with the tilts if you prefer. Okay, and we'll just do one more for luck. Okay, and then come back down, unhook that leg, shake it, and then cross the left leg over the right. We want to keep that foot flexed, okay? This is our thing that we should be doing all the time when we're in this position. Okay, and then your left hand is on your left inner thigh, and then you're just adding that little pressing action, and then you're pressing back with the leg. So you've got this kind of push-pull going on between the hand and the thigh. And again, try not to kind of be too speedy with it. You want to keep the stability, you want to keep that pelvis, we want to keep the neck nice and long. So you may notice there's a discrepancy between your left and your right, which is again very, very normal. Okay, and then we'll just do one more. So you can go to the edge of your mobility and just kind of hold back a little bit, and then we're coming into our tilt. So you inhale, and as you exhale, lengthen that spine. You're just rolling the pelvis under. It should feel very internal, very, very deep. Okay, and then inhale as you release. Exhale. Inhale, and all sorts of muscles are coming into play, but we're working our mobility and our flexibility whilst we're about it. Okay, and then you can just, if you want to just peel off slightly, release back down. If that felt good, you want to go a little bit higher. Drive through the standing foot. Try not to collapse in your centre. Okay, we want to stay nice and secure. And that little wobbliness you're feeling is because you're on one leg. So our stabilisers are all kicking in, okay, which is great. And then we're going to unhook that and we shake that. Okay, and we're just going to do a stretch now. So right goes back over left. We're going to tuck in. The right hand goes through the hole. And there we go, like that. And then we'll like that. Okay, and give yourself a nice stretch. And with this one, watch out for the neck and the shoulders. So if you can't keep your head, neck and shoulders on the floor, no worries, just lift them off. If you've got a cushion or something, pop it under your head. Okay, lovely stretch there. You might want to add in a little signature of your own. Okay, and then release. And then we're going to go the other leg over the other leg. So we're back left over right. inhale, exhale, place the left hand through that hole. Okay, and we're here. And then you can add a little bit of extra if you want to by just pressing the elbow into the side thigh and pressing back, and that gives you a bit more action through the stretch. Okay, option to bring the head, neck and shoulders off the floor. Add in your own little flourish. Okay, and then release. And we'll shake that out, so we'll shake it all out. And now we've got the legs up in the air and we've got our hands. So if you have back niggles, or if you just like it, you can place your hands underneath your pelvis and it keeps the spine nice and long. So some people like to have their hands in the small of the back. Some people like it in the pelvis. It doesn't really matter so long as you're feeling that you're connected and your back feels secure. Okay, so we're here and we'll just add a little bit of energy down the legs. And then we're going to double leg circle. Okay, now just be mindful about what's happening through your neck. We want to be very relaxed in the upper body. The core is working, it stops the upper body from kind of picking up the stress. Change direction, we can always bend the knees. Okay, shortening that lever will help with the your back if it's feeling niggly. It just kind of takes the load down on the exercise. Okay, and then one more. So either with your legs straight or with your legs bent, we're going to do a little tick-tock. Okay, so it's a spinal twist. You can have your hands here, you can have them here, you can have them here. So having your hands here, it's less stable, but you get a nice stretch for the pectorals. Okay, and then we're just going over to one side. Exhale as you come back. Inhale as you go over to the other side. Exhale as you come back. I'm going to do some with the legs straight because you might think I can just push it a little bit. Inhale, exhale. And then just be mindful when you're doing it that you're not sliding one leg down the other. You want to keep the knuckles of the ankles together. You want to keep your knees together. We'll do one more each side. Okay, you're very welcome to press the pause button and do more of these repeats if you are finding them beneficial. Okay, and then we're here. And then we're going to tuck the knees in. You're going to give yourself a little hug and then just shoot the left leg away. So your left leg is going down and it's on the mat. Your right knee is still tucked in. Okay, and then the right arm goes out in a crucifix. Your left hand holds onto the right thigh and it brings it over. We're in a stork twist. Okay, so in a lovely stretch here, the stork twist. How passive or active you are depends on your back, what you're after. You can be very passive and just kind of splay into the stretch. If you've got back issues, I would keep some engagement here, keep some core work going just to keep that back safe. You just need to feel into it. And your head can look towards your hand. My arm should be lower down. Okay, and then we come back and we're going to tuck that knee in towards the armpit. So your right knee is coming in towards your right armpit. You're getting a little hip opener. We're circling the ankle 3 times on one way, 3 times the other way. Mine's a bit creaky this morning. Just been for a run. Okay, and then we're going to do a little transition. So we're going to go for 3, 2, 1. Okay, and now the right leg goes on the floor. We're hugging in the left knee. The left arm goes out to the side, and then you bring the leg across. There's a lot of lefts and rights here. Okay, if it's getting confusing, just look at the thing, and it feels right when it's right. Okay, and then we're here. You can look at your left hand. You can activate, it's like you've been struck by a bolt of lightning, get it really active, or you can just melt, or you can kind of go between one sensation and the other. It's all there to be explored. Okay, and then we're back. Tuck both knees in, cradle your kneecaps, and we're just going to circle out the knees. And then we change direction. Okay, and we're going to just roll or manoeuvre yourself into a mermaid position. Okay, so we've got our feet going over in that direction, and then we've got the hands, so for your left hand on the floor, and then reaching up with the right, and just have a lovely stretch. You can lift off, if you want to. And then side stretch. Okay, so engage those waistline muscles, and then we're going to rotate, and we're going to walk the hands down, okay, but then we're going to walk them back up again, and walk them down, and walk them up. So use your core to bring the hands back, and walk them down. And now we're going to stay down, and you can go for a nice deep juicy stretch, and you feel it all along the side body here. Okay, now if this is too intense, you can keep up on your forearms, or you can keep up on your hands. Okay, try not to kind of wrench the body into positions that it just doesn't want to be in. Go by feel. Okay, everyone is so different with this. You might find that this isn't even a stretch for you, and if that's the case with you, just see if you can kind of deepen into it, create opposition. Breathe into the side ribs. Breathe into the armpit. Tuck your tailbone. There's all sorts of things you can do just to try and find the juicy point in the stretch. Okay, and then we're walking the hands back. Okay, and we're going to switch over to the other side. If you can do it without using your hands, fantastic. If you need to use your hands, also fantastic. Okay, so right hand is on the floor, we're reaching up, and we are telescoping again, so up and out of the waist, and then if you want to, you can go for your lift. Great side body stretch. Okay, up the side. Again, lengthen, 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 create the length, and then go for the bend. So imagine you've got that pencil again in the side waist, you don't want to chop the pencil in half. Okay, and then we're here, and we've got our waistline muscles on, and we're going to rotate. And as you're rotating, you're kind of creating an anti-rotation at the same time, so you're not just kind of jamming your body over. You want to create the opposition. We're always in opposition in Pilates. Okay, and then we're here, and then we're going to walk the hands down, and we're going to walk the hands back up again. And we're using our core to do that. So if you go really, really far, you might find you're stuck. So just bring them back a step, and then brace, and then bring the hands back. Okay, and then we'll walk down again. And then just go for your stretch, okay? So this could be your stretch, 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 okay? So we've spoken before about just, if this is not your position, just find something that you shouldn't be going to battle with yourself. Okay, and then we're back here. And we're going to bring the legs in front of us, and we're going to reach up. So we're reaching up, it's like we're holding onto that bar, and then we take a big dive forwards. You can flex the feet, you'll feel a nice stretch at the back of the legs, and then reaching up again, and we'll do that again. So we're getting a lovely spine stretch. We're using the core, we're stretching the legs, and we're going to change direction. Okay, so it's like, try and create that opposition. So as you're reaching down, you're drawing the abdominals back. Okay, and now we're going to come onto our hands and knees, and we're going to do a cat-cow stretch. So very classic, you cannot beat it for the spine. So we are inhaling, head up, tail up. Sternum forwards, try not to do that. So we don't want to stress out, we don't want to collapse into the shoulders, you don't want to compress the back of your neck. Length, 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 length. And then as we exhale, you can get grounded through the hands, grounded through the shins. Inhale, exhale. Do as many of these as you like, but we're going to move on. Okay, so we're just floating forwards and floating back. And as you do this, try not to collapse all the weight onto your wrist. So use your core, feel light, make yourself light. Press into the shins, press into the knuckles of the fingers. Okay, and then you kind of get this sensation of kind of floating. Now, if you are inclined, you can try different hand positions. Some people love it, some people really can't stand it. Okay, so go easy. I've got my fingers facing my knees here. I quite like this. I know some people can't stand it. Okay, or we've got the fingers out to the sides. It's another option. You can do some little
creative swirls. Explore, explore, explore. Okay, but be mindful of the wrists. You do not want the wrist to be kind of feeling any pain, electrical pain, shooting pain, any pain really is a bit of a no-no in the wrists. Okay, so we're going to move over onto our backs again. We'll roll down with straight legs. Flex the feet, and we're going to flex the feet. We want to press into the heels, and the heels will just float off the floor a little bit. The legs are active, and if we flex the feet like that, it should take the load off the hip flexors and the quads a little bit. We're going to reach forwards, and as you reach forwards, you're sinking into the belly. We are scooting the tailbone under, rolling down. We don't want any bulging or doming here. It's a hollow. Control, 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 control. Yay, okay, we made it. Bend the knees, and we're going to stretch out the hamstrings. So I'm going to stretch out the this way. Okay, I am tight. Okay, so my stretch looks like this. I'm moving in and out of the stretch. I'll show you what would happen if I try to hold a full-on static stretch. Okay, I'm going to exaggerate it. I'm not the tightest, but I'm pretty tight. If I tried to straighten this leg, this would happen. So I'd be holding stress in my neck. My bum would be off the floor, just because I'm thinking, oh, I've got to get my leg really straight. Also, I'll probably be feeling the stretch in the wrong place, okay? So for me, much better to kind of keep a softness in the knee, just tease the stretch out. We want to feel the stretch and the heft of the muscle, okay? And then, you know, at the end of that, I might think, oh, I could just hold it for a little bit. Some people can just hold it straight away, and that's brilliant, okay? That's quite a long-winded way of explaining that one. But we want to get it right. Okay, and then we're going to swap it over. Same thing. I'm even tighter on this one. So before you stretch, you want to be quite warm, okay? So you don't want to just kind of wake up and just kind of go for big stretches. It's quite nice just to, even just like a 5-minute walk, or just get the blood flow and kind of get the muscles more malleable. Okay, and we'll hold it here just for a moment. Okay, and then release. And then we're going to, we stretched the glutes earlier on. We're going to do this one, so we're going to open the knees, and we're going to have the soles of the feet together. It's a nice inner thigh stretch here. You can press your hands on your thighs if you want a little bit more stretch. Just make sure there's not too much gapping. A neutral spine here is nice, you don't want a big gap. So if you're feeling a big gap, just tuck your tailbone under a little bit, bring the knees a little bit higher. Okay, and then draw those knees back together. And heel toe the feet apart, and we're going to have the feet really wide. They're so wide, they're off the mat. Keep one leg straight and knock the other knee in. So we're getting a really good stretch across the hip flexors and the tensor fasciae latae, which is a side muscle and a hip flexor muscle. And then the other knee comes in. So with this one, it's different to the windscreen wiper. It's a little bit different. So we're just moving, we're knocking in one knee at a time rather than windscreen wiper in the legs. And we'll just do one more. I love that. Okay, and now we'll just heel toe the feet in a little bit so they're just on the mat. We're knocking the knees together. Float your arms over your head. Okay, or keep them down by your side if you need the support, otherwise over the head. And now we're going to windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. Okay, and then bring the legs back, heel toe the feet. So now we've got our hips and our knees and our feet all in line, and our arms are down by our side, and we're just going to very gently just move our head from side to side, releasing any tension in the neck. Okay, so but now we're going to have, if you've got a block or a pillow, grab it. I'm going to use my block today. For this one, So we're stretching out the pectorals, and we've done this one before, I know. So we're lying on our sides like so, and our hands are in prayer, and I'll do some circles today. So we've got circles, we've got arches, you can do the just open and close, you can mix it up. Mixing it up is good because you get the full spectrum of stretching around the area, so it's especially nice for the pecs, but the fascia of the back. I'm going to just start the other side, but be my guest if you want to do more on that side. This one also brings mobility for the mid-back and upper back area, which is really, it tends to be not mobile at all in that area, so it's a kind of underappreciated body part. I'm going to do a circle. Feels really nice, very relaxing as well, so it's a good way to kind of finish off the session. And I'll make that one my last, but again, do feel free if you want to do some more. I'm just going to grab, I brought my band down, so I'm going to use it. We're going to lie on our sides, and we're going to stretch out the quads. So that's the front thigh muscles. Now you can just hold your ankle, okay? For some people that's fine, and you get a decent quad stretch. For a lot of people, they kind of end up in this position. So what might be nicer, even if you can grab your ankle, you might get a higher quality stretch if you use band. Okay, so you're not all scrunched up in the front. We want to get that stretch in the belly of the muscle. We don't want to feel a jarring of the knee. So if your knee's feeling overstretched, ease off a little bit. And you can get into the hip flexor by just adding that pelvic tilt in. And just kind of play around with it until you find the stretch that best suits you. And release out of that. And do the other side. You could roll over onto, just sort of roll over so you're facing the other way. And again, with strap, without strap. Way to add a bit of intensity is to straighten the bottom leg. Okay, so just some variations there. And then release. One thing to try and avoid is this. Okay, so you want to kind of tease into the stretch. Okay, try not to force the stretch. And again, feel it in the belly of the muscle. Okay, and then release out of that. And then to lie on our backs. We're going to finish off with a bridge with the arms overhead. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, rolling up, rolling up, rolling up, rolling up, vertebra by vertebra by vertebra. Lovely stretch there. If you want to really stretch, come onto the balls of your feet. Be careful of cramp. And then we roll back down again. Now at this point, you might want to just close your eyes and lie in peace for a few minutes. I totally recommend that. It just helps to consolidate everything that you've done. I'm going to have to finish off, I'm afraid. So tuck your knees into your chest if you're finishing with me. Otherwise, stay where you are. And we're rolling onto our sides. And then we're rolling into a comfortable sitting position. I'm going to use my block. My tight hips. Okay, now if you're sitting in a cross-legged position, just change it. It will feel a little bit weird, that's the point. Okay, and then we're going to interlace our fingers again the weird way, and we're pressing away, and we'll just get this sitting cat stretch. And then TP fingertips behind you, sternum to the ceiling, and again we don't want to tip the head back, you want to keep the length in the spine. It's a lovely opening feeling for the chest. TP fingertips on the floor with one hand. And then we just swoosh the arm round. Other side. Lift, lengthen, and swoosh around. Spread your wings. Let the shoulders drop. Palms together. Give yourselves a clap. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.